Hello and welcome back to This or That with Kobe and Dash. Good morning, my friend.
Hey, good morning, buddy. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good today. I made my eggs and toast. I didn't quite finish it before we start recording, but that's okay. We'll have a great ending.
Exactly. There you go. Saving some of that protein for later. I like it.
All right, let's get right into it because we have 9 slides.
Oh, yeah, that's a lot. All right. First up, Honda MVP frontrunner. Core JJ after this weekend's performance or anyone else?
Uh, I think I have to take anyone else right now because that includes like all members of Cloud9. Yes, it is a big story that someone besides a Cloud9 member is a front runner for Honda MVP. But if you're taking the field, we still have 2 weeks left. I gotta say, taking an entire field, even over Core JJ, as amazing as he's been with his Bard, I gotta go with the field.
All right, Kobe's playing the numbers game, but how about this numbers game for you? Exactly as you mentioned, so many people are going to be looking at all the members of Cloud9. We have that classic conversation. If everyone on Cloud9 deserves it, will anyone on Cloud9 get it? And Core JJ, I would argue, while Jensen was in the conversation, now is solidly like the top performing member of TL. So if I'm going to pick anyone from TL, it's 100% Core JJ. And that would be my argument for this.
All right, fair enough. Next slide. Ooh, are you gonna main? It's Yone, right? And
It's Yone.
Yasuo.
Yeah, I got to go with Yone. I mean, first of all, that release trailer between the two of them, that like 10-minute animated short between Yasuo and Yone was so badass, and it makes both of them look so cool. But 2 swords or 1 sword? If I could be a badass wielding 2 swords instead of a badass wielding 1 sword, why would I not go with both? I'm going Yone 100%.
In the cartoon thing, I actually like Yasuo more. He was like the young, like spunky one, and Yone was all stern. He's all business. I'm much more of a Yasuo relater, so I'm gonna have to go with Yasuo on this.
That makes sense. You're the younger brother, right? You're the younger brother.
I'm older. See, we're
okay, well, wait. So then we're both the older brother, and you actually you relate to the younger.
Yeah, but you're a middle child also. You have an older sister, right?
That's true. That's true. I do. I
think this is too complicated. I don't think we resolved anything.
No, we didn't.
Here.
I want 2 swords. I'm making my decision off of 2 swords.
That's fair. That's fair. More likely to miss playoffs, CLG or Dig. Well, to me, Dignitas has just been so different in their games. Like I could judge after I see their draft, maybe.
Right.
If you tell me more likely to miss playoffs, if I could see the drafts all the way out for all the rest of their games, then I would choose. I think it'd be more clear.
Okay. And this is really tough because of where they are currently in the standings. Like CLG is in playoff positioning, but I actually think CLG in their current form is worse than this Dignitas. But as you said, Kobe, it's almost like Dignitas is standing there pointing a gun at their own foot, right? And I'm just wondering if they're going to pull the trigger and shoot themselves in the foot, or whether or not they're going to draft themselves some solid comps and move forward. But based on the way that Aframoon's playing more recently, I'm going to put some faith into Dignitas. And I'm going to say they're going to make the run, and therefore CLG is more likely to miss playoffs.
Pulling out the faith card, huh? Well, I guess I feel obligated then. I'm going to have to say CLG. I can't doubt them quite yet. I'm going to have to give it a few more weeks till they completely bomb out of the standings.
That's very
Dig
fair.
Actually past them.
That's very fair.
Right,
they only got a couple weeks to do it.
Exactly. Better player right now. No, FBI, people have been throwing out his stats. His stats are amazing. He does so much for the Golden Guardians. Big workhorse with damage output. I also think that his lane partner, Huhi, does a lot to sacrifice and set him up. So I think he deserves some credit. Meanwhile, Doublelift has been having, a decent amount of questionable performances. Everybody's going to meme on the summoner spells that are not used, but I still am going to say Doublelift.
Same here. And I think if you asked me this question before Treats was subbed in, like a week ago, maybe I would have actually said FBI, because you would have caught me on the part of the split where TSM was starting to slip again, and maybe I would have had a more negative approach. But yeah, you can't You can't overlook 10 years of League of Legends professional
You don't want it
history.
clipped, Dash, where there's any point where you're like, yeah, FBI is better than Doublelift, and someone
No.
clips that and they're like, look at this.
Let's avoid that on the internet. Doublelift is better, but FBI is a badass young player,
Yeah.
and maybe one day he'll eclipse him.
All right, next one. What we got? More reliable, verified checkmark included, Orianna or Azir.
Well, as we learned with the Twitter hack, anyone with a verification is not reliable. So maybe neither of these are really reliable. But I'm going to go Orianna. There's never been a more reliable mid lane champion than Orianna, who has just kind of always been serviceable in any meta. Very much that control mage, good team fighting, AoE.
I'm going to agree, and I'm going to have to say part of the reliability of Orianna is that Orianna cannot throw herself into the enemy team while trying to make a big play.
You can't beat yourself to
I've
death.
had so many Azir players that are like, I got this, guys, charging in. Azir's like, whiff in, and he's in the middle of the enemy team. He has no Zhonya's. Whoops, I put it on the wrong button. Oh no, now I'm dead. That's not reliable.
Yeah,
you're right, Orianna is reliable. Next slide, get me out of here. Now I'm just thinking of all my Azirs.
Azir players trying to be Zed players. It doesn't work.
More volatile player, Jizuke or Huni. Ooh, now Huni has a longer history of it here in North America, but I would say Jizuke showed us the bottom of the bottom and the tops as well. So
true.
I'm going with Jizuke. That Kog'Maw game, the Karma game, I gotta go with that.
All right, and I could see that. I'm gonna go with Huni, and here's the reason why. And maybe this is unfair, in part because of the lane he's in. Because when Huni is volatile, by virtue of being in top lane, you feel it more, right?
Like when split pushes in the side lanes, he's in top lane for like more than half the game.
That's true. Jizuke does go to the side lanes, but when Huni, when it goes good or bad, you really feel it because everything that's done in that side lane is amplified. And then beyond that, Huni is volatile no matter what you put. He'll play Maokai the same way he'll play Riven. He'll be that is the kind of thing that I just don't understand. At least with Jizuke, they figured out, they played Karma once. They're like, all right, this isn't his thing.
But he played Kog'Maw the same way he plays like Echo, pushing in the side lane by himself, James. The same argument.
But he moved on, but he played it once. Okay. Huni played Lucian 47 times in the LCS and hinted on it every single time.
Good slide. This turned out to be a good one. Let's go next then. Would you rather Cloud9's draft into TSM win on standard or lose on experimental picks?
Into TSM, I want them to win on standard. If you lose experimental, I'm just going to start losing faith in C9. After losing in a slightly experimental fashion to Team Liquid, if you go play a worse team and have the same result, I'm going to be upset at that. Right now, I want Cloud9 to continue to reestablish themselves as the top team in the league. And I'm okay if they do that in an experimental fashion, but you have to start putting wins up. We're going into the final weeks of the split.
And they can't be too cocky anymore because TSM actually could knock them out. Team Liquid to take their spot. TSM still could theoretically move up there. And you want one of the first two spots to get the bye in playoffs. No messing around. Get the dubs. Next slide.
Ain't first, you last. Let's go.
More likely to leave meta, Ezreal or Aphelios? Aphelios is the target of the community for memeing on and for getting them out there. So maybe it would be like the pressure of the community. Just they've had enough and they just completely bomb the champion. He also has more exploitable weaknesses just as a theory for the kit because he's a low mobility carry. Whereas Ezreal, even though they increased the cooldown of Arcane Shift, he still has it.
Yeah, I'm with you. That's the thing I was leaning on the most was going to be the Arcane Shift, the mobility of Ezreal. If an 80 carry can remain safe, there's probably always a world where they're viable. He might become less prioritized, but you'll always find a situation where an Ezreal is viable. Or I'm even thinking there are teams that are going to want to use Ezreal, like say put tactical on Ezreal to let core JJ roam. There might still be usefulness there, but I agree with you. Aphelios can be abused at a certain point, and so he, I guess, would be more likely. But if I'm being honest, 200 years isn't going anywhere, my friend.
All right, next slide. Better LCS bingo reward. Ah, the upcoming bingo game.
Yeah, we're playing bingo this week as a part of our game show week, all weekend long. All the analysts will be playing against the commissioner to win rewards for our audience. So first of all, that's awesome and down with the commish. But second, I think I gotta go emote because I already have the ward skin I want. I already have the ward skins that I like to use, but I feel like my emote arsenal could always be better and more well equipped.
To me, this is a no-brainer because I just don't care about ward skins at all. I gotta be honest with you. I mean, I slapped the Draven head on my ward skin as soon as I got that one. And when people sweep it, it looks like there's this giant head in the bush, and sometimes they get scared too. They think like it's a champion or something.
It's like your own fiddle.
Love it. So I'm never changing that one because I don't even, I don't notice them that much. But the emotes, you use those every single game. I want all of them. Yeah.
Exactly.
I got to agree. That was pretty easy then. Was that number 9?
That one was easier than I thought it was gonna be.
Boom.
Wow,
we're finished. Great job. We're improving our times. Nice, clean, and quick episode here.
Yeah, that was very good. Hey, you got time to get back to those eggs. They're probably still warm. That's how quick we went.
Another great episode. We'll see you guys all next week.